Welcome to Expert Profiles Atlanta, where Atlanta's influencers and innovators share strategies for overcoming obstacles and achieving success in business and life. Here's your host, best-selling author and Atlanta influencer, Neil Howe.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is your host, Neil Howe, and today my special guest is Elle Ross. She is the holistic fitness coach. She is a personal trainer and coach in Atlanta, and she went from a jobless, unhappy, overweight person who did alcohol and drugs and was depressed, suicidal, a lack of self-love, to living a happy life of purpose and passion, which is her full-time job now. She's now sober, she's vibrant, she's full of life, and she has a fit mind, body, and soul. So welcome to the show, Elle Ross.
Thank you. Thank you so much, for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
Well, it sounds like you've got a great story to tell, so I'm going to let you give us a little more of an introduction to yourself. So tell us how you started on this journey.
So initially, I started on this journey, officially, I would say about a little over 2.5 years ago. And what triggered the change was, let me go further back. About 4 years ago, I moved here to Atlanta, Georgia, with the dream and vision to do modeling and acting. And I didn't have a job. I didn't have friends. I just packed whatever would fit in my car and moved here. A lot of people thought I was crazy, but I just knew I wanted to pursue this passion of mine at the time, which was actually heavily influenced because of from family and friends. And when I got here, I didn't have any kind of sense of direction or vision. I didn't have a strong mind or true self-love. And so I got caught up easily into that entertainment lifestyle where you're going out, you're partying, you're drinking. I'm a very kind person, and I trusted extremely too quickly the wrong crowds. And slowly but surely that lifestyle kind of started to spiral downward, where I didn't have a job. I was using and racking up credit card debt. Started drinking heavily weekly, and I started carrying a flask in my purse. Cocaine, I'm just gonna put it out there. Yeah, I did that. And I didn't have any kind of direction. And then I thought to myself, why did I move here? This is not me. This is not who I am. Before moving here, that was not my lifestyle whatsoever. And as I was talking to my mom, and I just was telling her how depressed I was, and I just didn't want to exist anymore. And I stayed in the house, the room I was renting, for about a week. I didn't leave. And my mom prayed over me. She told me to come back home. I said, no, I need to figure this out. I can't fail. And I just started job hunting. And then I finally got a job offer, but it required a biometric screening. And in a biometric screening, they test everything. And I wasn't really paying attention to my health, in what I was eating. I wasn't working out. I gained weight. And when I went to the screening, the doctor asked me about my lifestyle. And I lied, of course, because you don't for one tell the doctor, you're doing drugs and you're drinking. So, and she came back with the results, and I was pre-diabetic. And when she said that, I freaked out because, diabetes is one of the leading causes of death here in America. And I could not imagine actually being a full-blown diabetic. And so at that moment, I knew that I needed to seriously change my life. And it was just that was the instant. And so I stopped drinking. I started meal prepping healthy meals and researching how to eat healthy. I started exercising 30 minutes a day in my house because I was too embarrassed to go into the gym. I started morning meditation and journaling and just feeding my mind and feeding my spirit just good food. And I also deactivated all of my social media accounts because at the time it was getting really toxic for me to scroll, and then to the way I would just the way I was living. And I did that for 90 days. And my whole life just transformed, my health, my mind, my body, my spirit, which led me to want to share my testimony, share my journey to others. And I actually wrote a book called The Blueprint, which is the 90-day breakthrough to shift your mindset and transform your life. And it goes deeper into that transition and the habits that I actively took and implemented each day, as well as how someone can go about transitioning to healthier meals, what to look for in the store, as well as how to start an exercise routine and fit it in your day, and really just make it a priority, because at the end of the day, you are your most important investment, and your body is your temple. And many of us, we don't take care of ourselves, like the one vessel that we have to take us through this life. We're abusing it, and I was abusing mine. And through my transformation and through my journey and developing self-love, it's just really been it's just been amazing transformation, amazing transition, from where I was to where I am right now in this moment. So, sorry, that's long story short.
Yeah, I mean, that is a great story of somebody that's been through it and come through. And unfortunately, there's so many people out there that are in the same position. If you don't have a definite purpose in what you're doing in your life, and you're just being influenced by whatever comes along, it is very easy to fall down that slippery slope and get to a position that you don't like yourself anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's not a nice place to be. But tell me, I mean, what was the trigger, like you said before, the turning point? Because there's so many people in that same situation that just carry on and continue being overweight and depressed and taking drugs. What was that turning point or that trigger for you that made you take action to change?
So for one, I was unhappy, but the biggest trigger was those test results from the doctor, when she said, if you don't change your lifestyle, you will be full blown diabetic. And I knew that I didn't want that. And I know that diabetes and a lot of the diseases we have are preventable based on lifestyle. And so I didn't want that for myself. I also started to just think about, like, what kind of lifestyle I'm leading, what kind of legacy am I going to leave? When I have a family one day, like, what is it that I really want? And I really didn't know. And so taking that time to focus on fitness and having that almost being like my outlet. So not going out to the parties and drinking and the drugs. It was like going into the gym. First just working out in front of the TV. Eventually I made it into the gym, and then, building muscles, and that the euphoric feeling you actually get just from exercising. Like, you feel so much better, your energy and the way, and I always did it in the morning. So then the rest of the day, I just felt like I can just take on anything. And that was the trigger. It was just wanting to take full control of my health and my life, and not letting it go overboard.
Well, the amazing thing, once you've made that decision, you said you did it for 90 days. You obviously committed to that.
Mm-hmm.
But it is remarkable what 90 days can do. I'm sure it wasn't easy
to
do that 90 days, but tell me about that journey and the transformation.
So I started off basically writing down what I wanted to achieve. And so I made a list. I was like, I am going to. It wasn't like I might, or like I maybe. It was like, I am going to. I will wake up and I will meditate for 15 minutes, and I will journal for 30 minutes, and I will dedicate 30 minutes to exercise, and I will. And so I made this game plan, literally that night from the doctors, of what I wanted. And I created a calendar, so it was visual, and I would mark off the days of like what I was going to do, plan out. I was very visual, very plan oriented, and it was very rewarding when I could go through the day and then reflect on, I did it. Just those mini wins each day, and then looking at the calendar, crossing it off, and then saying, like, I hit 10 days, I hit 20 days, I hit 30 days. And after over time, it starts becoming a habit, because I'm focusing it and I'm really putting forth the effort to make it a priority every day. And then remembering why am I doing this for myself? Why am I making this transition? Because in the first month, it was really challenging because I had friends, the friends that I had during that toxic lifestyle, who were having events and inviting me out and like, oh, you're being lame, you're not coming, or what's going on with you? And I would have to say no, because I knew that I wasn't in a state of mind that if I put myself in that environment, I would have given in to the alcohol or whatever was available. I wasn't strong. And so I knew that I had to say no just to eliminate the temptation altogether. And I'm so proud of myself and happy that I did that, because over time it became a habit. And then now I can't even imagine it or think about going back to that lifestyle or to those habits. I don't crave the same things I craved. Now I crave and want healthy food. I want to work out. It's just amazing how those small steps, that when you make that commitment to yourself over time, those appetites that you once had will no longer even be there.
Mm. Well, I think you said, you weren't strong, but I think you really were strong to say no to friends and to listen to what they have to say in return to that takes tremendous strength. It seems like you were putting a lot of positive messages in your mind at that time, and you had your goals and you'd made that commitment to stick with it.
Yes. Yeah.
So ultimately, you wrote the book. Tell us what's in the book. Is it part of your journey, or is it how you help other people, come along on their journey?
Yeah. So the book really is kind of like a guide, like an action guide. So it's not your typical book where you just read it and you put it down. At the end of each chapter, there's space to write. So there's an activity at the end of every chapter, which I consider and call like action, plan, and reflection. So just to go through some of the chapters, like you'll go through my story where I go into detail about, my personal journey and how I came to where I am, and requirements for the program, which I'll just read as like, you want to have a positive mindset, a go-getter attitude, determination, and a willingness to do, invest in a journal, and possibly a whiteboard, because one of the things that I did too is created a vision board. So before I started my journey, I had that little master game plan that I wrote out, but I also had a vision board for what I wanted to create for my life. And then I go into those habits that I implemented. For example, creating a solid daily routine. Sometimes we wake up and we don't have a mission or a vision for the day. We just hit the snooze button. We wake up, throw on our clothes, go to work. We're in a rush. Then we're flustered at work. We come home. Maybe we have kids, maybe we don't. Then we just throw something in the microwave or we eat something on the go. And then we go to sleep and do it all over again, never really having a plan for our day. But when you take the time to like write it out and what activities are necessary to whatever goals you have to achieve that week, that month, that quarter, it's really vital in regards to achieving some of the success that you might have for yourself. And so you're going to write that down. There's a section where you would write that down, and then you would plan out, your quarter 1, your quarter 2, your quarter 3, whatever it is you want to accomplish. And some other habits and that I go over, I brought the book in front of me, is mindfulness and meditation, why it's important and how to go about doing that. The significance of a journal, which is almost like your personal Bible and guide to like your life. Like you reflect in the morning how you'll have your day. Sometimes you'll reflect in the evening before you go to bed, of your day, and then the next day. And then I always stress like making fitness a priority. Fitness of the mind, fitness of the body, fitness of your soul, fitness holistically. And the importance of cooking your own food versus just going out all the time. What ingredients you're putting in your body, reflecting the night before, working to eliminate distractions, especially today. Distractions are like limitless from especially with our smartphones. Sometimes I even still now do like social media detoxes because it can become so consuming with emails and notifications. And I actually don't have any of my notifications on just for that reason, because I don't like to be distracted.
Right.
And then just continuing to focus on you and whatever it is that, and like diving deep into you and what it is that you really want and desire.
So putting those goals in place and seeing small successes obviously grows to bigger successes, and
Correct.
doing that over time. That's all you need, is to keep motivated and doing the right things. So tell me how it blossomed into, a personal journey and a transformation into a business.
So when I start after my journey, I saw my body transform, like my mind, my spirit, and everything. And then people started just asking me questions in regards to like health and nutrition, like what am I doing? What am I doing in the gym? Like my body transformed, so people wanted to know. And then I thought to myself, I want to teach people, but so I need to get certified. So that's what I did. I started studying. I got certified, studying nutrition, studying, the mechanics of the body. And I just fell in love with that. And that's what basically pushed me to want to do it full time and create a business and a lifestyle of helping others transform themselves, not just physically, but spiritually and mentally. And so like with the way I run my business is I always ask questions that are deeper and try to find like the root of like, why are they wanting to make this change? Because it's more than just like, oh, I want to look good. It's like, I want to feel good. I want to have more energy. I want to be able to breathe when I walk up the stairs and not be out of breath. It's for my kids. I want them to see that, I'm active and they can be active too. So there's more than just the outside, and through people asking me those questions, and I'm just wanting to help. I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this full time.
Excellent. And you've branded yourself as the holistic fitness coach, which brings all those things together. But ultimately, it's that, the reason why that you're making these changes is so important. So the people that come to you for help, what kind of problems are they having, and how are you able to solve them?
Majority of people that the number one, I guess I would say, objection or like concern most of my clients that I've encountered have is the time. So they're busy, they're working, some have kids, and they feel like they don't have the time in the day to schedule themselves in. And so immediately I go through their day, like what are they doing? Where are they spending their time? And then how, like, I stress the importance of fitting at least 45 minutes to 60 minutes of the day to themselves. And then they see where they can fit it in, like waking up earlier or making time after work or lunch break. And then they create that routine where it's like, now they know, or they might schedule a babysitter, or they'll get with their spouse, like, listen, you have her at this time. And then their significant others or the people around them see that this is important. And then they have outside support as well. And I'm always supporting them along the way if they need to make adjustments. But that's usually the number one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I find that myself. I see that all the time, especially busy professionals working in their business. They struggle to make time for themselves. But generally the ones that take their health and their exercise and fitness more seriously and make that time are the ones that are more successful. So talk to me about some of the workouts you do with your clients.
So I take my clients through what I call like a HIIT strength training workout. And so depending on how many days a week they train with me, we always are going to focus on a different muscle group. So if we're doing 3 days a week, we'll do like lower body, upper body, and then a total body. 2 days a week, an upper and a lower. And then 1 day a week, we'll do also a total body. And then occasionally I'll throw in like, we'll meet and we'll glove up and we'll do some boxing, which is always a lot of fun. But ideally, we do some kind of strength training, usually either reps or 45 seconds on, 15-second rest. And they'll do about 2 to 3 exercises. And then I'll throw in like a HIIT cardio to bring up their heart rate and then bring it back down, whether that be mountain climbers, jumping jacks, jump squats, sleds, rope, sliders. There's just so many different things. And then gradually, sometimes we'll increase weight. We'll do less reps and increase the weight, or we'll do more reps and a little bit lighter rate. But I always try to make it fun. It's always different, new, and a little challenging. And then also what I love to do with all my clients too is we have a little thing called, it's a plank challenge. It's very simple, but I always throw it in at the end. And then the goal and objective is for them to beat their time every time we meet. And so clients love it. And almost every time clients beat their time, sometimes they don't, they fall short, but that's okay. And then it forces them to want to practice whatever that move is that they didn't conquer in the session. They'll practice it at home. Then they'll come back and they're ready and they're like, I'm going to kill it today. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to beat my time. And it's just a really great feeling to see them excited, to see them empowered, and then to hear their success stories like, oh my gosh, I can't fit these pants anymore. This shirt is fitting me. It's just a really wonderful, amazing feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. I have that same challenge going with my 11-year-old daughter right now, the plank challenge.
Oh, I love it.
You can hold it the longest, and she oftentimes wins.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
So talk to me about some of the misconceptions about working out and seeing the results.
A lot of misconceptions is people will think that they need to work out longer, they need to work out harder, they need to eat less. And that is all not true. You don't need to work out 2 hours a day. You don't need to do endless amounts of cardio only. So a lot of women will come to me and they've only been doing cardio and they're afraid to weight train because they think they're going to get all big and bulky. And that's not true. Strength training builds lean muscle. Muscle is fat turns into muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat. So sometimes, we'll step on the scale. The number might not change, but then the numbers when we're doing measurements will change. And you want to build lean, strong muscle because the more muscle you have, the more calories you'll naturally burn throughout the day, even when you're sleeping, as well as eating. Women will come eating like 900 to 1,200 calories a day, and that's not enough. The body needs more fuel to perform at its peak and just for survival in general. So when you're starving your body is going to want to hold on to whatever food you do give it because it doesn't know when it's going to eat again. And then also for me, I also teach some classes and people will come in thinking like, oh my gosh, that was too hard. But at the same time, everything that I do, there's always modifications. You never want to push yourself over the limit. And you want to always listen to your body. I know some people will try to overtrain themselves and that leads to sickness, that leads to injury, and you want to prevent all of that.
So people who know that they need help to at least get started on their journey to, weight loss or to feeling better, why do they not make the decision? What kind of stops them from actually taking the action?
I believe some people do not take the action. One, they're afraid, they're not ready. They think about the work, they think about the journey. So they think about the time it will take. So the time it will take, possibly the cost. Some people are like embarrassed. They don't want to go into a gym environment because they are ashamed of how they look, fearful, and then doubt that they might not succeed. Like, I'll start, but I never finish. So there's no point. But it's really a mental game. It's really a mindset, and you really have to switch your mindset and believe in yourself ultimately, and then not think about, you're not going to get these results like overnight. It's going to take time, and ultimately, if you believe in yourself and you put in the work, it definitely can happen.
Now, Elle, apart from your own story, which is remarkable, of course, talk to me about somebody else, one of your clients that have made the investment in themselves and they've put in the work. You know, give me a story of somebody that sticks out in your mind. What kind of condition did they come to you in? What were you able to do for them, and how did it transform their life?
Yes. So I do have a recent client. Her name is Janae, and she came to me. I'm smiling because like she's just put in so much work. So she came to me. She told me she never works out, like never works out, eats horrible. Like she told me her breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which was basically all fried food, processed to go. Didn't drink water, and I was just when people come to me and like and she didn't know like really where to start, what to eat. So when we had our consultation, I told her like, listen, this is what I'm going to have you eat. This is going to be our routine. And she at first was like, what? Vegetables? Like green? Like that sounds disgusting. But I was like, well, this is going to be necessary for your journey. You have to eat, you have to start eating vegetables. So thankfully she has her mom and who cooks and not too far away from her. And she literally, everything I said, she did it. She started drinking water. She always had her smoothie. She brings her smoothie. She's actually one of the only clients that actually brings her post-workout smoothie with her. So she's ready to drink it. The meal plan, she's stuck to it. She showed up on time every session, worked out, sweating. And she's been fully committed. And I've loved seeing her grow. And now she's been telling me like she enjoys eating vegetables. She looks forward to her smoothie. She drinks water and she likes it. Her coworkers are noticing a difference at work, and she's noticing a difference in her energy. And she's lost 11 pounds and a total of 5 inches. And we're still going strong. So it is possible when you put your mind to it and you fully commit.
Excellent. And that's it. Once you've made that decision to commit, even, taking one step at a time, it certainly adds up, especially over 90 days. You can make tremendous changes, not only physically, but mentally as well. So, Elle, tell me one thing that you learned at the start of your business dealing with people that, still impacts how you do business today.
Dealing with people in regards to clients or outside of?
Well, with clients, with the people that you work with.
One thing I've learned is to basically don't make assumptions and to always listen first. When I first started, I would make assumptions about clients' needs or clients' goals or what they need, and versus like truly listening to like the deeper issue, the deeper problem, and then once you find the root, then you go from there. So before I would start like on the surface, but now it's really genuinely listening to the client and what they need, so that way I can provide the service that they need to help reach their goals.
Excellent. Yes, starting with that why is extremely important, knowing what's going to motivate them and keep them committed. So, Elle, if somebody is looking for a personal trainer right now, what are the important questions for them to be asking? What exactly should they be looking for?
I believe anyone looking for a personal trainer should reach out and look for someone where they can feel like they can relate to. That can also work with like what their needs are and their schedule. So in regards to like maybe like location, time, availability, possibly style, also lifestyle. There's some trainers that, like for example, I'm a vegan. I don't push veganism on anyone, but I used to eat meat. But there's some trainers where they don't understand like maybe different diets. Like there's keto, there's paleo, there's vegan, there's vegetarian, and there's just the carnivore eater. And some will try to like, you need to eat this if you want to achieve these goals. And no, that's not true. Whatever lifestyle or diet you choose to have it's possible to achieve goals. You just have to fully commit. And so sometimes it's best to either find someone, like ask those questions like about nutrition. I think all trainers should come with and deliver some kind of nutrition guidance, because that's 80% of the journey. You can work out all you want, but if you don't change your nutrition, you're not going to see any results. And I also believe you should find someone who also lives and leads the lifestyle. So if I'm telling you you shouldn't do XYZ, I'm not going to be doing XYZ. I don't think it's right for someone to tell you you should do this, but then they don't practice what they preach. And so I'm all about like this, like living the lifestyle, being the lifestyle, and like being a role model that you can lead that to.
Yeah, a good leader leads by example. So Elle Ross, she's the holistic fitness coach. If somebody wants to get in touch with you to get started on an exercise program, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can reach out to me via my website at the Elle Ross, TheElleRoss.com. I have a link on my site, free transformation session. And there we would discuss your goals, set up a time for a consultation, and talk and meet to get you started. I also can be found on social media. My Instagram is the Elle Ross. You can direct message me there. And also it kind of gives you a time lapse and kind of a capture of who I am as an individual to see if I would be the great fit for you.
Great. And is your book available online if people want to pick that up?
Yeah, so it's available on Amazon. You just type in The Blueprint, Elle Ross, or The Elle Ross. And it's also available on my website at theelleross.com.
Well, excellent, Elle. Really enjoyed talking with you today. You've got a great inspirational story. You've been on that journey. You've understood what it takes to actually go from, a not great position in life to a successful, happy, vibrant person. And, you have all the tools necessary to take other people through that. So I wish you best of success in your business. And thank you very much for being a guest on Expert Profiles Atlanta today.
Thank you so much, Neil. It was a pleasure.
And to our listening audience, if you like what you hear, hit that like button and share, and we'll see you next time on the show.
Thank you for listening to Expert Profiles Atlanta with Neil Howe. To learn more about the resources in the show or to listen to past episodes, visit expertprofilesatlanta.com.